Hi! So before I start this video, thought I'd let you know, it's gonna be a long haul. I have 23 books, so it's gonna be a long haul. Hi everyone, this is Rebecca, and today I'm going to be doing a massive, very large and in charge book haul. There's just a ton here that I've accumulated over the last few weeks, and I wanted to haul them all so you know like what I have in my collection now. There's classics, there's not classics, there's everything. Like there's so many different genres. I got two big stacks here. I mean, one you can kind of see, and this one you can also see too. So there's a variety of books here. Haha, you don't see my book stack because there is no book stack. But anyways, I am going to go through all of them in no particular order really. But I will link every single book down below in case you are interested. This description is going to take me so long to do, but that's okay. So we're going to get started. I think I'm going to start with the stack that's like closest to me, which will be like the very front stack here. So to start off this wonderful haul, I will let you know that some of these books I purchased on Indigo, or some of these books I found at Little Free Libraries. So there's books that I didn't necessarily purchase myself that I just found at Little Free Libraries, and others I bought. So just to FYI, in case you're like, that's a lot of books. Well, some of these I didn't actually buy. I just got at Little Free Libraries because I like to go there. This one, the first one that I have here, I got at a Little Free Library. This one is a historical fiction, and I'm actually really excited to start this one. I think I'm gonna save this one for November though, because I want to do a lot of more fall-y, wintry books. Question mark. But anyways, this is called The Forest of the Vanishing Stars by Kristin Harmel, and this is about a woman who lives in isolation in Eastern Europe during World War II. And she finds out what's going on in Europe at that time. All of these people that are trying to escape Nazi persecution are, you know, trying to survive, and she wants to help them out. So she teaches them how to survive out in the woods. She teaches them all of these very invaluable survival skills, and in turn they give her some social interaction. So people who are fleeing this horrible fate are being helped out, and it's supposed to be like a really nice sort of like a feel-good story, but also very sad as well. So I'm quite excited to start this one. Also, the cover is so gorgeous. Like, look at this foiling here. It's lovely. And this one's actually a recent publication, so I was quite shocked to find this. And I'm actually really excited to have found this, because if I didn't find this, I probably would have just bought it, but I didn't have to buy it because I got it for free. So woohoo, go me. But that is the first book in this haul. This next book I found also at a Little Free Library, and this has actually been on my TBR for a while. I was actually about to buy it, but then I found it at a Little Free Library, and I want to read this one because I just want something like cute and happy and sappy. So I bought this, and I can't wait to go through it. But this is the Rosie Project. This is by Grame, and this is about a man named Don, and he is very successful in life. You know, he's got a lot of things going for him, but now he wants to settle down and like get married and stuff, and he meets this woman named Rosie, and they fall in love, and it's supposed to be really cute. So I'm quite stoked to dive into this one as well. I just want something that's a little bit more like happy, because I'm reading a lot of intense books and a lot of like large books this week, or sorry, this month, not this week, this month. And I want to kind of balance my collection out with some more feel-good stuff. I mean, I already have some feel-good stuff, but I want more. So I found this, and I was really excited because that means I don't have to buy it, which is awesome because I don't need to buy it. So yeah, that is the Rosie Project. The next book that I have, I bought when I was at Indigo. This is a hardback book, and I was kind of shocked at how much I paid for it because I didn't think I was going to be paying so little for it. This hardback was only like $16, and I'm like, yep, that's mine. And also I've been wanting to read it too because I've heard a lot about it on BookTube and people just really seem to enjoy it. This is going to be for October, I think, because it's a little bit more spooky, but I just really love the concept of it, and also the title is My Name. It's Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and this is about a woman who marries a man, and she is continuously haunted by his dead ex-wife Rebecca's presence. So it's supposed to be like a gothic thriller type of thing. I don't think it's necessarily gothic literature per se, because I don't know if there's going to be a lot of like atmospheric writing or anything like that, but I picked this up because I really want to read it, and I think it'll be like a really interesting read. And also I heard it's just a classic, so I wanted to grab this one. And the cover also, like, it's so pretty. Like, I'm actually so in love with this copy, and I cannot wait to read this one. I'm hoping that I'll enjoy it. But I usually like to go into books with a very unbiased mind. Although I know that there's some books that I'll love more than others, but I do want to see how I feel about this one. But yeah, this is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. And book. So the next book I found at a little free library, and this one is also a recent publication, which I was also very surprised by. I've been finding a lot in one particular library that's been like really consistent and very stocked over the last bit, and I keep finding good things, and I'm just really happy about it. This is by Maggie Farrell, and this is called Hamnet and Judith, and I believe that this is like, I look at it and I'm like, it kind of reminds me of like Shakespeare because of like Romeo and Juliet, because Judith is like Juliet and Hamnet is obviously Hamlet. But anyways, this is a historical fiction set in England, and basically it's just about a couple that is going through a lot of like really sad things. It's during the time of the bubonic plague. If you don't know what that was, I'm sure there's a lot of resources out there that you can look at about it, but basically their children get the disease, and I believe one of them succumbs to it. So there's just a lot of heartbreak and a lot of sadness, but also it's supposed to be like a very touching story as well. So I'm quite intrigued to see how I feel about it. There's a lot of like historical references too, which is also going to be really interesting to read, because it's sort of set in the same time as like a little bit before Shakespeare though, so it'll be a little bit different. But I'm still very stoked to have this book, and I think it'll be like a really interesting read, probably in like September or something. So probably gonna save it till then, because I kind of have like all my TBR sort of planned out a little bit. Of course, it's still not completely done, but yeah, that is Hamnet and Judith by Maggie Farrell. And we're almost done. This book is the second book in a series. Now, I've read this series before, and I really liked the series. Fun fact, when I was younger, I would go through books like nobody's business, and my mom was like, you are not going to be reading kids books anymore. I'm upgrading you to adult fiction. So she gave me most of her adult fiction collection, and I started reading adult fiction when I was like 10, I think. But anyways, this is the second book in a series that I've already read. But I think what I might do is I might get the first book, because I know what the first book is, and read that before I read this one. But I wanted to pick this one up because this series is really funny. This is Shopaholic Takes Manhattan by Sophie Kinsella. And if you don't know what this is about, it is about a lovely, lovely lady, and her name is Becky. And she is a very... she's a very interesting character. I remember loving her because I felt something with her, but also her full name is also Rebecca, so it works out because me too. But basically she lives in London, and she is a fashion consultant, I think. I have to I have to refresh myself on the plot line, but anyways, in the first book, she meets a guy, they fall in love, and it's really, really cute. And then and in this one, she moves to New York with him, and it's basically her just trying to figure out what the heck she's gonna do in New York. So it follows her blunders, it follows all of her like funny, interesting mishaps that happen because this girl gets into some really sticky situations, and I'm just really excited about this book. I know that I'm going to enjoy it, but I need to grab the first book first before I even start this one. But I'm glad that I have this one though, because I do want to read a little bit more of the series and kind of like get in with it type of thing. So yeah, that is Shopaholic Takes Manhattan by Sophie Kinsella. The next book I got, it was a lot of like people who really love thrillers. A lot of booktubers who love thrillers really love this book, or like are reading this book currently or something like that. And I've heard a lot of good things about it too. And I don't read a lot of books that have a lot of references to Greek mythology because I'm just not like a Greek mythology person. I mean, I've read Aristotle, I've read Plato and stuff like that. Like I've read excerpts of like the Odyssey and the Iliad and things. Like I know what those are, but I'm not very well versed in it. But I'm sure I'll be able to understand some of the references, cross our fingers. But anyways, this is a very popular thriller right now. It is The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. And this is about, it's a dark academia, It's a dark academia about a professor who gets accused of murder. And it's just about somebody trying to figure out the motives and things like that, and whether or not or something like that. And it follows a protagonist her name is Mariana, and she is convinced that he killed somebody, and she's basically just investigating this crime, trying to figure out like what his motives were and if he actually did it. And I really love this cover. I think this cover is like super pretty and like really dope actually. I'm really excited to read this one. I think that I love thrillers that have like a little bit of dark academia to it, because you can kind of like go back in like history and things and like peruse some theories about people. And I'm actually really stoked to have this one. I am going to read this in October, because in October I'm planning on just reading a lot of thrillers, because obviously October is like the spooky month. So you will see this in a couple of months. I'm crossing my fingers that I'm able to include this in my TBR, because I have so many thrillers that I want to read, but also like I may have to push some, but that's okay, because November can still be spooky, right? But anyways, that is The Maidens by Alex. This book I just got recently, and I have been trying to get my hands on this book for the longest time. Now, this book has a lot of really good reviews, and I just wanted a book that would make me laugh, but also just like have a lot of sexual tension in it. And as soon as I show this, you're gonna be like, yep, that romance. But it's The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I am so happy I have this book. I'm just like, oh my God, life is great. But this is about Lucy and Josh, and they're co-workers at a publishing firm, and they hate each other. Josh is a little bit more reserved. He's a little more like subdued. He's a very like work-oriented person, so he's not necessarily like very free-spirited. Lucy is very free-spirited. She's very like polar opposite of him, and they just don't understand each other very well, and they're vying for the same promotion, and then things get like and they end up so oh my God, I don't know why I said that, but it's a romance. It's an enemies to lovers. I'm excited. I love me some sexual tension, and you're gonna see this next month. I know that you will, because I do plan on reading this next month, and I'm just really excited about it. So that is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. So the next book that I have here is a book that I kind of went back and forth about buying, but then again, the premise just like kind of won me over in the end. And I'm like, I just think it's going to be like a really funny, feel-good book. But this is Dialect for Aunties by Jessie Q. Satanto. And this is about a girl named Madeline. And she is on a date with a guy, and then she accidentally kills him. And then she calls her lovely aunties to help her hide the body, and I am so excited. I love premises that are just very like wacky, and they remind me of, you know, hi, my footage just stopped for whatever reason, so I'm back. Hi. I was talking about this book, and I think I was talking about the typical comedy trope in most books. This particular comedy trope is just really funny. Like, I'm actually like, it reminds me of Midsummer Night's Dream, where people are like in a very wacky situation and they end up doing the wrong thing with the wrong person, and then all of a sudden everything is wrapped up in one like little bow, and I think this is what it's gonna be, and I'm quite excited about it. So that is Dialect for Aunties by Jessie Q. Satanto. But anyways, the next book that I have here is a book that is actually a play. It's actually a play. And I love this play. I will die for this play. I will literally cut myself open for this play. This play I have multiple copies of because I love it so much. And like, I know you have to read this play in high school for the most part. I know a lot of people have already read this in high school, but like, I love this book and I love this play. And I found an edition that was like not necessarily vintage, but like vintage enough where I'm like, yep, that's my favorite thing in the world. And that is Macbeth by Mr. William Shakespeare. This is the Falcon Shakespeare. So it's got like the vintagey vibes. It's not necessarily vintage though. I think it's actually from 96, I believe, which is the year I was born. So I love that for me. But this play, I feel like everyone's probably read it. So like, should I do spoilers? I don't know. But basically we follow Macbeth, who is a king. He's a noble knight. Sorry, he's not a king yet. Sorry, he's a noble knight. King Duncan loves him. King Duncan's like, you're the man, we love you, you're the best. And then Macbeth's wife, Lady Macbeth, is like, you know what you need to do? You need to kill the king so you can become king because you deserve it. And then like, it's just madness after. It's just, oh, it's so good. And then everybody dies by getting stabbed, and it's just, oh, so good. I love this play. This play starts off with witches being like, hey, there's trouble coming, so you might as well just like buckle up because this is gonna be a wild ride. This play is a wild ride. I love this play. And I know that it's like a play that everybody references and everyone talks about, but like, this play is so good, and it's just, oh, so good. I have multiple copies of this play in like a bunch of different editions because that's what I love. I also have an entire anthology of every single poem, sonnet, play, everything, you name it, by Shakespeare. And I have no regrets and no like qualms about it. Like, it's the best. So we love this. It's beautiful. And I'm really excited that I have this. I've already read it, but I mean, I could probably read it again. I wouldn't mind reading it again. But yeah, that is the Falcon Shakespeare edition of Macbeth by Mr. William Shakespeare. So my favorite thing about life is that it stopped recording, but this time it was because my storage was full. So we just finished talking about Macbeth, so I mean, we got through two books, so I think we're on the right track here. If this stops recording, then I'm just gonna import all the footage and then we'll be good to go. But anyways, we're gonna continue on with this. That copy of Macbeth, by the way, I did find at a little free library, so I didn't actually buy it. But anyways, this book I also found at a little free library, and I'm actually so stoked about it because I've read a few books and things by this author, and I've loved them. Like, I actually really, really enjoy them. And I don't enjoy a lot of classic authors because I find them to be really boring. If you ever want me to talk about how much I hate certain classic authors, like, let me know, because I could go for days, but I could also talk about ones that I love. But anyways, I found this, got really excited, and now I have this. Is a picture of Dorian Gray by Mr. Oscar Wilde. Look how vintage she is. Ugh, I love how like everything's all faded and it's just like, there's the yellow pages. It's just, oh, so nice. It smells like book. That's what it smells like. But anyways, this book is about a man named Dorian Gray. And what is going on is that he's so used to living a life of excess and folly and just like being very frivolous, frivolous is a good word to describe it. And he falls into a very, very dreadful trap, and things just don't go his way after that. And Oscar Wilde's known for like those kinds of tropes where he talks about society, wealth, excess, and just like the general his general disgust at things of people who just like don't really care about anybody but themselves. And I think this book is going to cover that really, really well. I'm not sure when I'm going to read this one, but I'm still excited that I have it. And it is a classic, so I mean, you can't really go wrong when you get a classic. I feel like if I had gotten this earlier, I would have read this like right after I finished The Bell Jar or something. But although I do love The Bell Jar is like, so good. But this one I'm actually really excited about. So I got the picture of Dorian Gray by Mr. Oscar Wilde, and we are here for it. We're here for it. We're here for it. The next book that I have here, I bought this book. So this book I bought, and I'm actually so stoked about this book. I've heard nothing but good things about, and I've heard that it's just supposed to make you feel good inside, and I need that right now. Like, I feel like I need feel good things, and this is gonna make me feel good, and if it doesn't, then I am gonna be really sad. But this is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, and so many people love this book because it just makes you feel happy. If you don't know what this is about a caseworker, and he's assigned to like this really interesting project where he goes to an orphanage of magical youth who are considered to be like dangerous, and he talks to them, and it's supposed to make you feel happy, and I'm down for that. I'm down for something that's just make me feel happy. And I just love this cover because this cover kind of reminds me of Lemony Snicket for whatever reason, but like of Lemony Snicket wrote cheerful stuff, because that middle grade series was very sad and very twisted, which I loved. Like, I love twisted things, but this is gonna make me feel good, and I'm just excited that I'm gonna be feeling really happy after this. I believe this is also a debut novel, ? And yeah, it looks like it's going to be quite an easy read as well, and I'm just really stoked that I have this. So yeah, that is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. The next book I got at a little free library, and I'm so stoked that I have this one. I read the back and I just got really interested, so I just took it, and now it's mine. This is called The Last Affair by Margot Hunt, and this is about a woman who has an affair with a married man, and then the daughter of the man finds out that her father is having an affair, and then she gets really angry and is on like this like hunt to like basically just like kill people. And I guess the ex-wife winds up dead as well, which is like really crazy. I'm actually like, I really love like some sort of like really crazy twisted thriller, so this is definitely going to go in an October TBR TBH. Haha, TBR TBH. And it also like, it's quite short actually. It's only about 325 pages, so I think it'll be like a really fast-paced story, but I feel like it's going to be intense, but also just very like the same time, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, that is The Last Affair by Miss Margot Hunt. The next book that I have here is more of like a contemporary thriller, I think. This one is supposed to be quite feminist, which I'm really stoked about because I love me a feminist series, and I love me like a feminist. But this is The Mars Room by Rachel Kushner, and this is set in a female prison. Our protagonist, whose name is, what's her name? Her name is Rami Hall, and she gets sentenced to, I think it's like 2 consecutive life sentences in prison. So she's in a women's prison and just documents her life in prison and all of the things that you have to do in prison in order to survive, essentially. And I'm actually quite interested to read this because I've actually I watch a lot of creators on YouTube that used to be in prison. Most notably, Jessica Kent, who was in prison for a while, and she talks about her experience a lot on her channel. So I will actually link her channel down below in case you're interested, because like her stuff is really interesting. And I'm actually quite interested to see how I like this one. There's a lot of things that Jessica Kent talks about in prison that happens in prison, and I just want to see if there's like, this one is a little bit more, I feel like this is going to be a little bit more like Aussie, like not as realistic, but I'm still really stoked to have this, and I really, really think that I'm going to enjoy it, and I feel like it's going to be extremely feminist, and I'm just very excited about it. So yeah, that is The Mars Room by Rachel Kushner. Okay. The next book that I have is another book that is a recent publication that I found at a little free library. And I'm actually so happy that I have this, because I was actually about to buy it, but then I didn't end up buying it because I found it at a little free library. And that is Kristin Hanna's The Nightingale. And it's a fat book, but it's about... it's set in World War II, and it's about two sisters separated by years of experience, by ideals, passion, and circumstance, each embarking on her own dangerous paths towards survival, love, and freedom in German-occupied, war-torn France. A heartbreakingly beautiful novel that celebrates the resilience of the human spirit and the durability of women. Is a novel for everyone, a novel for a lifetime. So it's just about two sisters who, it's like they're going through some things, and it's about survival, it's about adaptability, and I feel like there's just, I don't know if this is like going to be like necessarily strictly historical fiction or something that's like slightly more contemporary, but if it's set in World War II, my assumption is that it's going to be a little bit more historical. But I'm really excited that I have this one, and the cover is gorgeous too. Like if you look at it, like look how pretty that is. It's lovely, and I am here for it. So yeah, that is The Nightingale by Miss Kristin Hanna. The next book that I have here, this one, people either really love it or people all either really hate it. I feel like I just spoiled it because you just saw like some of the cover. But anyways, I want to read it in October. I think it'll be a good ride. I think it'll be a fun ride. So I just love me a good horror novel sometimes. I don't like horror movies, by the way. I'm actually like irrationally scared of horror movies. I can't watch them, but I can read horror books. But this is Survive the Night by Riley Sager, and this is about college students who Charlie. So our protagonist Charlie, her friend just got killed, and she's really, really sad about it. So she's going. I think she's going home to her family, and the guy that she's in a car with, his name is Josh. But she notices something very suspicious about Josh, because there's like this campus killer that's like going around like killing students and stuff, and she thinks that she might be in the car with him, and it's just basically like her just trying to survive the night in this situation. And like this cover is epic too. Like I'm just like, I love this hardback. I think it's gorgeous. I'm really, really stoked to see how I fare with this one. I think it's actually, like, to be honest, I think it's going to be really, really good. I think I'm going to have like a good time reading this. I think it's going to be a wild ride, and I'm just like, I'm here for it. So that is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. This one I was kind of like going back and forth on getting, but then I just ended up getting it anyways, because I just like, I really love the premise of it, and it's also like a very like gothic sort of like thrillery, horror-y, very spooky book, but also very feminist. So we're here for it. This is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth, and we love this cover, by the way, and this hardback is gorgeous. But this is about a group of girls who are love this writer. Her name is Mary McLean, and she has this like really crazy like scandalous like best-selling memoir, and they go to this tree in a park, and they like basically just like go, "We love you so much, you're the best," and then they die. I think that it's going to be just like, it's going to be very nuanced. I think Emily Danforth is a professor, so it might be a little bit like dark academia too, which I'm also very stoked about because I love me a dark academia, BT dubs. But this this particular cover is so pretty. Like, it's got like an embossing on it. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's really pretty. And I love the inside cover. I think it's gorgeous. And also, if you look inside, like the inside here, there's like, it's so cute. It's just a lot of bees, and there's just a lot of bees. And it's just like so pretty, and I love it. And I don't know why I'm talking nonsense, but anyways, I'm really excited to read this. I think it's going to be an interesting read. I've heard mixed reviews about this, so like I've heard people say that they were disappointed, but I also heard people say that they really, really loved it, and I want to be the judge of that. So that is Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. The next book I found at a little free library, this one is a little bit like beat up, but I kind of love it like that because it's just like, it gives the book a little more character. And also, I've read books by this author before, and I kind of want to get back into her. This is The One and Only by Emily Giffin, and she's known for like her very touching, very like nuanced, very sort of like coming of age type of books. But this is about Shay Rigsby, and she basically has just lived her whole life very like subtly, very just normal, you know, and then tragedy strikes in her family, and it's just her trying to navigate all the things that happen in her life. And it seems like it's going to be a very interesting adult contemporary that is going to touch on a lot of interesting coming of age things when you start to kind of grow and change. And I really love her writing because she's very, I love Emily Giffin's writing, sorry, because it's just very, I don't know how to describe it, but it's very like, it's blunt, but it's also very like real, you know what I mean? And I love that about her writing. So we have that one, which I got at a little free library. So go me, woohoo! That is The One and Only by Emily Giffin. All right, the next book that I have here is another book that I got at a little free library. And this is one of my favorite plays by Shakespeare. Yes, this is another Shakespeare comedy. I love comedies too. This is my favorite comedy. This is Taming of the Shrew, and we love an Oxford Shakespeare edition here. This is an Oxford Shakespeare, so you know it's a little bit newer, but we still love a new edition. This particular play is about, so there's two characters here. One of them is, where is it? Okay, so there's, Petruchio and Catherine, or Petruchio and Kate, however you want to call them. But basically, Kelly needs to marry because she's the eldest daughter, and her father's like, you need to marry so I can marry off all my other daughters. And she doesn't want to get married. She like really doesn't want to get married. And her love interest, who is Petruchio, they just hate each other. And it's wonderful. It is so good. Like, Catherine's sort of painted as this crazy bitch, but like, I love that. And I think she's just like, honestly, very strong-willed, very like headstrong. And I love this book. Sorry, I love this play, not this book, but I mean, I love the book too, but the play is really, really good. It's one of my favorite, it's actually my favorite, sorry, it is my favorite comedy. It is my favorite comedy because I don't like any other comedy more than this one, because this one's got a lot of substance to it. And say what you want about Shakespeare, but his writing's just so good. And I'm really happy that I have this copy. So yeah, that is Taming of the Shrew by Mr. William Shakespeare. All these other books I bought, so there's no more little free library stuff. Yeah, there's no more little free library, but the next book that I have here is another really fun, interesting book that I kind of picked up because I'm like, oh, it looks so fun. But I actually really love the premise of it. This is called Pretty Things by Janelle Brown, and this is about a girl named Nina who is a scammer. And she basically just scams rich people in Los Angeles. And then her mom falls ill and she has to pull off some really crazy, risky things. And then she meets another woman named Vanessa. And it's basically them just navigating their friendship or like this relationship that they have. and it talks about class and privilege, and a lot of other really interesting dynamic happens in this book, and I'm really intrigued to see how I feel about this particular dynamic in this relationship. So I bought this one on book deposit, and it didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take, but I'm really happy that I have this, because I'm definitely going to dive into this and hopefully really enjoy it. So yeah, that is Pretty Things by Miss Jen L. Brown. Woohoo! The next book that I have here is a mystery novel. I don't read a lot of mystery, but I'm actually like so stoked that I have this, because this is Dead Girls by Nikisa Afia, and this is about this is set in Harlem, New York, and it's about these murders that are happening to a lot of young Black girls, and it's just Louise, who is trying to figure out like what is happening. She's either here to solve the case, or they're going to put her in jail because she's being accused of murdering these women. And we're following some issues of police brutality, we're following issues of race, class, gender, sexuality, things like that. And I think that this is going to be like a really interesting novel, and I really love the cover too. Like, I think the cover's absolutely stunning. Like, beautiful, stunning. And I can't wait to see how this one plays out, because I really love like a protagonist that kind of like is given like an ultimatum, and somebody who's kind of like put in a corner where it's either like you either solve this mystery or you are in jail because we're just going to accuse you of murder, which is crazy. And it sort of also touches on the issue of false accusation and things like that in the justice system. So I'm really intrigued to start this one. I think I'm really going to enjoy it. But yeah, that is Dead Girls by Nikisha Afi. The last book that I'm going to show you is an adult contemporary, but the next three are going to be YA novels. This one I picked up because a lot of people on BookTube were talking about it, and then I got really interested in it, so now I'm here. This is Anna K by Jenny Lee, and this is about a girl who is Korean American. So her family immigrated from Korea to America. They're in Manhattan. She goes to this really good school, and she meets this guy and she falls in love with him, and it's basically her coming of age, her sort of growing and changing and kind of realizing things about life that I think is going to be really awesome and cool to see. Not that I necessarily relate to sort of like this coming of age things now, but I feel like maybe I could relate to this on like a level of when I was that age, like this is what happened to me type of thing. And I'm really excited to read about the intersections of race in here, because there's a lot of intersections about race, class, and gender, things like that. So I'm really excited to see how this story plays out. I feel like it's going to be relatively lighthearted, but I think that there's also going to be some moments in it where, you know, you're going to feel some sort of emotion. So it's not all going to be flowers and daisies, but you know, you gotta kind of like pick your battles type of thing. So yeah, that is Anna K by Jenny Lee. This one I really wanted to get because I know a lot of people don't like reading World War II books, but like I love World War II books because they just make me feel things, and I love feeling things. This one's another YA, and it's about a prisoner in Auschwitz. It's actually based on a true story, but this is called The Librarian of Auschwitz, and this is by Antonio Iturbe. I think so. I think that's how you pronounce it. But this is about 14-year-old Dita, who was one of the many prisoners in Auschwitz, and she's displaced. She's originally from Prague, and she's like basically just, you know, moved from Prague to Poland, where she is put in Auschwitz, and she's adjusting to the constant terror that is life in the camp. So if you know anything about World War II, you know that there's a lot of horrible things that happened during that time. And when Jewish leader Freddie Hirsch asks Dita to take charge of the 8 precious volumes the prisoners have managed to sneak past the guards, she agrees, becoming the librarian of Auschwitz. So basically it touches on the of World War II where Nazis would take books and start burning them. So they burned a lot of books, and there were a lot of books that were banned during that time. And so these people managed to sneak a bunch of books past these guards, and she basically just keeps these books safe. And it's just about a heroine story of resilience, and I think I'm going to feel a lot of things when I read this. But also, it's just like, I love this cover. It is so gorgeous. Like, I love the artwork. I think it's beautiful. And it's really, really, really important that we, document history properly. And, it talks about, how the burning of books was an attempt to erase history and how history sort of prevails in that way. So we're excited about this one. I think this one's going to be a really lovely read. And I think I'm going to feel some things. So yeah, that is The Librarian of Auschwitz. Okay, so the next book is another YA book, and people love this author. And I've just heard nothing but good things about this series, so I just bought it because I'm like, I'm gonna buy it. Because I read another series by this author when it was really, really popular back when I was in middle school. And yeah, we're gonna read this. This is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. This was the last copy in my bookstore, so I just bought it. I didn't even think. I'm just gonna grab this. So this is, first of all, a lovely hardback, gorgeous cover. But this is about Cordelia Carstairs. She's a shadow hunter. She's a warrior trained in childhood to battle demons. When her father is accused of a terrible crime, she and her brother travel to London in hopes of preventing the family's ruin. Cordelia's mother wants to marry her off. But Cordelia is determined to be a hero rather than a bride. She encounters childhood friends James and Lucy Herondale, and she's drawn into their world of glittery assignations, and supernatural salons. So there's just her new life is blown apart when a shocking series of demon attacks devastate London, and she has to figure out all the things that happened. So I'm excited. I'm stoked. This is gonna be beautiful. I'm really, I'm actually so stoked that I have this because it took so long for me to find it, and I finally found it and I bought it. It's a YA, so it's gonna be a quick read, I think, but I think I'm gonna thoroughly enjoy this. So yeah, that is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. I just looked at it and I'm like, I'm gonna get it. So this book is called Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. And this is an exploration of privilege and privilege in America. So there's a lot of interesting stuff that happens. I'll just read the synopsis for you. Alex Chamberlain is a woman who gets what she wants and has made a living showing other women how to do the same. So she's shocked when a babysitter, Amira Tucker, is confronted while watching Chamberlain's toddler one night in the aisles of their high-end supermarket. The store security guard, seeing a young black woman out there late with a white child, accuses Amira of kidnapping. A small crowd gathers, a bystander films everything, and Amira is furious and humiliated as Alex resolves to make things right. When Amira herself is aimless, broke, and weary of Alex's desire to help, at 25, she is about to lose her health insurance and has no idea what to do with her life. When the video of Amira unearths someone from Alex's past, both women find themselves on a crash course to upend everything they think they know about themselves and each other. So this is an exploration of privilege. This is an exploration of race. It's a very interesting contemporary that kind of talks about a lot of the things that are happening in America, even right to this day. And I'm really excited to read this. I think I'm gonna really love it because I've heard nothing but good things about it. And it's also a short read, so I think it's gonna be quite fast paced as well. But I'm so stoked that I have this, and this is in my possession and I will read it. But yeah, that is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid, and that is everything for this haul. Everything. This is literally everything. I'm gonna grab some of the books, not all of them. Okay, that is everything. That's everything. Oh my god, there's so many books. Do you see this? I could literally stack through this whole screen. I'm not even kidding you. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed your snack while you were watching this. Like I said, I'll link every single book down below in case you were interested. But until then, have a great day. Bye, I'll see you in my next video.